Welcome everyone to this very rainy POV review. My name is Max and you are watching a review by Autotop.nl. Well, today we have the Mercedes-Benz E-Class all-terrain. So sort of the raised estate car, or yeah, it's a sort of a combination between an SUV and an estate car. It's very rainy as you can see, so I'm going to keep this outside part of the review quite quick. Let's start with the exterior parts of this all-terrain. Let's start at the front because we have an all-new front bumper with those 3 gaps and that sort of matte chrome or aluminium grille. We have these things in the grille which are similar to those in the GL series, so GLA, GLC, GLE, GLS. To emphasize the SUV character of this car. We have 20-inch wheels which look great, I think. We have those black extra bits on the side which give it sort of a rugged look. And we have an E220D today, as you can see, with 4MATIC as standard on the all-terrain, of course. A new rear bumper with this bit in black, and this is new as well as this lower part. But here we go again with the exhaust tips. This is closed and the exhaust is somewhere underneath, which I think is ridiculous. So I'm going to say it in every diesel Mercedes car we review. Come on, Mercedes, get your act together, because I really think it's quite ridiculous. So let me show you a cool part of this car, because this has the optional electric tow bar. So if we press this button right here, there it is. Wow, so quick and swift. Really cool option. And then pull it again to make it disappear. Voila, very nice. So I'm going to put my jacket in here and let's get inside before I and the camera get too wet. So in here it's business as usual for the Mercedes-Benz E-Class. Very nice interior with the dual screen, but we have done a lot of E-Class reviews in the past, so if you want to know more about the interior, about the systems, about the screens, just watch one of those reviews and we will link one up here in the top right corner. We do have this cool inlay, which is aluminium carbon look, how they describe it themselves, and the all-terrain as standard comes as avant-garde, so avant-garde. We also have this Burmester sound system in here, and oh yeah, I wanted to show you, because we have never really talked about this, but Mercedes always has the seat positioning on the doors, and we just figured out another great feature about that is that you can change the settings of your seat while you are still standing out here, so you don't have to get in and search for the stupid buttons. Okay, so let's go for a drive. As you can see, we have picked a very nice area to do this. We will start in all-terrain mode. We are already in all-terrain mode, yep. So that means that the standard air suspension is raised by about 20 millimeters to give you a little more clearance, and that air suspension is already very nice, but when it's raised, I mean, this car becomes really quite well at off-roading, and it has huge clearance, which means you can get through stuff we encounter here in the Netherlands, which isn't that exciting, but it does it very easily. And that air suspension means that you can drive over these roads quite quickly without it getting out of shape. Braking, 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 and there we go. I mean, this is really easy. So let's switch off traction control. That's a bit better. And while in the past these all-road, all-terrain, cross-country cars were a bit all show no go, I think this time they actually are quite capable. And this is just a little hump. Not that impressive, I know, but it's really cool to see how easily it gets over. Again, with that huge clearance, no problem at all. And we have the E220D, as I said, which has 194 horsepower and 400 Newton meters of torque. And I think that torque figure is okay. The horsepower is a little on the low side, especially for this all-terrain, because it has the same power output as a standard E-Class. And I would think that, you know, being an all-terrain, it could use a little more grunt. And it does feel a little bit underpowered, to be honest. There will also be an E350D 4MATIC soon. So you get a 3-liter V6 diesel, which I think suits this car much better, and you'd be able to drive that on torque, and the car doesn't have to work that hard. So I think that would be the better choice for this car, especially because this car weighs 1820 kilograms, which is about 160 more than a standard E-Class estate. So I think that 3-liter V6 diesel would be able to cope with that extra weight a little bit better. And there we go. And that sums up the handling of this car. It's very loose, it's very friendly, and although it is a bit underpowered, it never asks from you to drive it quickly or hard. It just invites you to drive it relaxed and just enjoy the scenery, because of course with this all-terrain you could get to some beautiful places. Because this car in the corners, I mean, you really do feel that air suspension, you feel the fact that it's higher up. It's very quiet, it's very comfortable. We drove it on the Autobahn a couple of hours ago, and it was insane how comfortable and easy and quiet it was. And so Mercedes really wants to sell this car to people who take it on a skiing trip or a hiking trip or a climbing trip. And at first I thought, well, why do all those car makers have to be so adamant on making it a lifestyle advertisement? But I do get it. I do get how cool it would be to take this car on a skiing trip and blast down the Autobahn and then take it up the mountain through the snow. I think it would be able to, and I think I would have a great time doing so. So in conclusion, this E-Class all-terrain, well, I always thought that these all-terrain, all-road, cross-country models were a bit like too much plastic for their capabilities and more show than go, as I said. But after driving it today, I have to say that it's just an E-Class, but it's so much more comfortable. You sit a bit higher up, and that also makes it more comfortable. And you know, you have to pay quite a bit extra for this car compared to an E-Class. So I think the people who buy this car will also go for the bigger engine, and I think it can really use that V6 diesel engine. But other than that, it's a very impressive car. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for regular updates, and we will see you at the next one. Bye guys.